Hi people, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Vanessa, and today we are getting into Ariana Grande's 7th studio album, Eternal Sunshine. And who would have thought that we would be getting new music right now? Obviously, yes, she dropped Yes and in January, but like honestly, after Positions, I was like, maybe 3 or 4 years. But then with all the Wicked stuff, her dropping REM Beauty, I was like, I don't know. And she even said in her Zach Sang interview that she was like, I didn't think I'd make music before like 2026 or 2027, which like, we are blessed that in 2024, early 2024, we're getting new music. So I'm glad we don't have to wait as fans for more music from her. But I'm excited to get into this album. It is 13 tracks and a cute 36 minutes. So this is super short, like her shortest album, honestly. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this. I know she said in like her Zach Sang and her Zane Lowe interviews that I watched, that it's like some of these songs lyrically are coming from a personal place. Obviously, we all know the drama that's happened in the last, year or so, which like, leave that girl alone, let her live her life. Like, you don't know her personally, she definitely doesn't know who you are. You know barely 1% of these celebrities' lives that just happen to be shared on like tabloid media outlets. And not all of that is gonna be 100% true. So for people to be out here and just cast judgment without knowing personally Ariana or any celebrity out there who's in some type of messy drama, you don't know these people. You don't know what goes down behind closed doors. They have no bearing on your personal life. So for people to be out here, like, just say you don't like her. Just say you don't vibe with her. Don't make any excuse to be like, and this is why, da 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 da, this, that, and the other. And it's like, just say you don't like her and move on. Like, why are you spending all this energy posting negativity and like negative comments and all that other stuff? Like, I like literally don't understand that mindset to be like, if you don't like someone and you don't want to deal with them, why would you go out of your way to make a negative comment? Like, that's so much more work than just scrolling or moving on or muting or whatever. I'm like, y'all don't be passing vibe checks on the internet. It's crazy. Not the people who come here to support and vibe with me while we listen to music and be fans. But like, anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. We're gonna be done with that rant. Moving on to this album. I've already talked too much in this intro. I wanna get into Eternal Sunshine. I know it's part personal and part concept album, where a lot of this ties into themes from the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I haven't seen that movie, so I probably will miss some things that might go over my head. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this. AG7, let's go. Eternal Sunshine, track 1, intro, End of the World. As always, I'm looking at lyrics. Got a little guitar.
How can I tell if I'm in the right relationship? Aren't you really supposed to know that shit? Wonder if he's judging me like I am right now. I don't care. Make it worse for you.
Interesting start. Like, obviously, we know love lost, the mourning of a, dissipation of a marriage. It kind of starts off with like, I'm thinking about some things don't seem right. Am I in the right relationship? All that type of stuff. And it's interesting to have that as the intro, End of the World, where it's like, this is the end of something. And then I'm curious how we end the album, if that's going to be like, going from this is the end of something to kind of like the cycle ending and starting anew at the end. But anyway, that was intro, End of the World. I liked that. I liked, get a little bit of strings, but more of a little like guitar sound, which is a little new for her. I liked it. It was a nice, cute little like, so here's what we're gonna get into story-wise, concept-wise. All right, so next track is Bye. These are all short songs, man. There we go. It wasn't playing for some reason. that boy lying. Are we gonna get funky?
This ain't the first time I've been hostage to these scenes. Living through my fears.
Ooh, this piano?
How hard we try. Stuff Courtney just put up in the jar.
Not Courtney. I like the groove of this. That bass line. Okay. A little up an octave. Ah, Mr. Vocals. Ooh. Bittersweet. Call back. What was that? Bad idea? Or in my head? Oh, I like it. Okay, hold on. I like that. I like that. I like the groove. I like the vibe. I like the instrumental. The bass line was giving. The piano was giving. Like, there was a line in there where she mentioned, like, I know how hard we both tried, but, like, it's time for me to go pack my stuff. Like, Courtney's in the driveway. It's time for me to go. For those who know, she does have a bestie from childhood named Courtney. And so I feel like this is probably more on the personal side, maybe a little less. Again, I haven't seen the movie, of the, like, part of the concept with the eternal sunshine of a spotless mind. Her writing a line in here saying, we both tried so hard, but, like, unfortunately, this has to end. It's like, well, you know, this was not something that was just like a spur of the moment drop. Relationship's over, clearly. Anyway, love the sound of that sonically. That was a little bop. The next song is Don't Want to Break Up Again, which, you know, girl's been through some ups and downs when it comes to heartbreak and relationships. So let's see what this one's giving. This is gonna be a similar vibe.
I fall asleep crying. You turn up the TV. No sleepless night.
This beat.
Time too much for you. So I really gotta do. I don't wanna fuck with your head.
Ooh, I like the backgrounds there.
I don't wanna break up again, baby. Codependency, but you didn't even try. You found a day that was at the wrong time. The thing I don't wanna do.
Ooh, the muffle.
No, I don't. I don't wanna.
And bringing it back in.
We will spend this time.
Okay, bridge. Ooh, these are such nostalgic notes. I like this melody. Come on, get up there, girl. Okay, so that one was like a mid-tempo vibe, a little mid-tempo bop. You're definitely getting themes of, you know, sometimes it could be right person, wrong timing. Like, one person could be working on themselves while the other person might be a little lacking in the relationship, and then it might flip where that person's fine and then the other person's trying to, you know, work on some more, and it's like imbalanced on, you know, the effort or the work or whatever that's being put in and like meshing at the right time. So it definitely seems like in this one it's more talking about we had good times, we also, you know, had imbalanced times, and I try to work on me, you try to work on us. I like this doesn't seem to be working. I don't want to end this relationship, but it doesn't seem like it's working out for us in the way that we both may have hoped it would. And, you know, unfortunately, like, I mean, the song says, I don't want to break up again, but it's like, but maybe that is it's like that consideration of like towards the end of a relationship where you're like, maybe that is the right outcome that we need to do, is actually break up, even though we don't want to, but that might be what's best for both of us. But yeah, that was giving me some nice little like hints of like the Y2K R&B, you know, a nice little groove to it. I like that one as well. Okay, so the next song, also for y'all, not y'all, but you know, I was talking about the internet peoples, the negative internet peoples, talking about Ariana doesn't even write her own songs. Literally, so far we're on track 3, written by Ariana Grande, and then we have Ilya and Max Martin helping with like the production and yeah, like obviously honing down the lyricism of things. But like, girl's writing her own songs, and she has been. Does she have a team of like 7 like usuals? For sure, but that does not mean that the girl does not have a hand in her own art. Anyway, moving on. The next track is Saturn Returns Interlude. Ooh, okay. No girl was talking all up and down about her Saturn returns, so let's see what this sounds like. Oh, a little giggle. A little sigh.
I don't care what people say.
Bro, the production on this album is like my vibe too.
Someone like you do. How it ends. I'll be the first to say I'm sorry. I showed you all my demons, all my lies. That you play me like a dummy. Hope you feel alright when you're in her. Sunshine.
Ooh, I like that. All the sunshine. Oh my god, I just realized I'm playing Eternal Sunshine and not Saturn Returns. I was like, why does this is not an interlude, it's long. Oh my god. Okay, we're going to backwards. We'll come back into Saturn, Eternal Sunshine. We already got a minute in. Okay.
When we're all born, Saturn's somewhere. And the Saturn cycle takes around about 29 years. Hits you over the head, hits you over the head, hits you over the head. It says, wake up!
Nope.
And sort out who you really are.
Diana Garland. Ah, see, I missed the whole flow in by it not playing correctly. Something's up with my Apple Music today. I don't understand.
I don't care what people say.
Okay, now that we got the intro, we're gonna fast forward.
So I try to whip my mind. Rather feel pain. Instead, rather forget the known. So now we play separate scenes. That's how I'm in my head.
In my head.
Hope you feel alright when you're in her.
That line. I love that shine run. Ooh, the change of a note on her. What is this reminding me of? This is reminding me of some other song of hers. Just this part of the song. Okay. Okay. Eternal Sunshine is given. Okay, Saturn Returns. I think that's self-explanatory. You heard every 29 years, you kind of wake up to be like, see what is happening in your life and seeing what needs to change and all that. Going into Eternal Sunshine, it's definitely giving. I shared a part of me that, you know, was super vulnerable, and it seems like you kind of played me for like a fool, a hopeless romantic, what have you. And now you've got me feeling guilty and saying sorry, and you've moved on to another girl. So now I've moved on to another guy who seems to be more on my side. Is an interesting way to put things. Because it's like, oh, you're with her, she's in my bed and you're with her, and something about being in her. And then she's like, now he, the new guy that she's with, is in their bed and he's with Ari, or this concept of Ari. Again, I'm taking these songs as both concept and personal. So it could be a grain of truth of like some of this is about her, some of it could be also just the themes of the movie. I don't know. But interesting. I like the production, the cadence of the lines and the lyrics. I mean, she's got a great flow regardless. Like, I really enjoyed this one, and it definitely gives like a perspective of like, wait, I'm feeling guilty for things that I feel like I shouldn't be feeling guilty of because I feel like I shared so much of myself with you, but like also feeling like that other person kind of took that and kind of made a farce out of it and then kind of left her questioning a lot of things. So yeah, interesting. So, okay, my Apple is being weird, so I'm gonna like individually click play on these songs. I'm so mad that it like did not play Saturn Returns and just went straight into Eternal Sunshine. I missed the like swoop right into Eternal Sunshine. Okay, track 6 is Supernatural.
Don't want nobody else around me.
Oh, this beat. Come on, bass. Production on this is like tiptoeing into that like 80s sound. Not quite, but like almost. Yeah, the chorus. Okay, yes. Sing, girl. Okay. The way that like the verses had like that deep bass that was like very giving like an R&B moment to it, and then it goes into the chorus where it's like that hint of kind of like an 80s-ish sound. And then that like the end where she like runs up the scale and does that weird like not quite modulation situation. I don't know, but I like this. I like this one. Supernatural, yes. I'm not gonna go too deep into the lyricism of this one. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I like the vocal moments at the end as well. Okay, so next track is track 7, True Story.
This is a true story about all the lies you fantasize. No, this is not what I need. Give me love, give me love, not what I want. Give me love.
Okay, yes. Is this supposed to be her? I forget, she said there was a song on here because there was that song that she wrote that was leaked called Fantasize that like fans ate up, but like it wasn't for her. Like she wrote it for like a TV show or something, like not for her, but like everybody loved it. And so in her interviews she was saying how there is a song that is like her own version of Fantasize. I don't know if this is True Story, just because Fantasize was in the lyric at the beginning of the verse, but I don't know if that's this song. That's supposed to be like her version of Fantasize, or if that's gonna come later. But not her talking about all the games you played and the lies you told. Like, okay. These harmonies, these stacks. Oh. Okay, production. It's got like a haunting almost sound. This reminded me of a Britney song. She's like, y'all steady want to villainize me and vilify me, fine. Period. Come on, sing it, girl. a bop. I like her. She's got a cool, smooth, slick vibe to her. And I just like her kind of taking into her own. Like, again, y'all tried to say all these negative things, pray for my downfall, villainize me, vilify me, all the things. But you know what? Fine. Let me, like, as, you know, Kerrigan said in Shadow and Bone, like, make me your villain. Like, okay, fine. If that's what you want to see, bet. But I'm gonna look good and do good in it. Like, I'll be here, as she said in Yes and, like, her face is sitting. Like, girl is good. She still got running these checks because y'all still out here probably streaming her music anyway. Anywho, moving on. I love True Story. We're gonna go on to The Boy Is Mine. This is her, I don't know if it's cover or reimagining of The Boy Is Mine from Brandy and Monica, but we shall see because that is also a classic song. So let's get into her version of The Boy Is Mine. Or maybe it'll just be, oh. She said stop talking. Oh. Okay, so this is just the same title. This is all Ari. When they do that, ooh. Come on, Stacks. This production goes so hard. That like slow down into the chorus. That. Ah, that little slow down gets me every time. Ah. Okay. Definitely sounds like a, you know, fresh. This sounds like the switch to fresh relationship. Like, ooh, okay, this is new to me. This is different. New boy. This boy is mine. Feeling new things. All this. Bro, Max Martin really be coming through with the production. Every time Ariana does a song with Max Martin, it's never a miss. It's always a hit. And this entire album, she's worked with Max Martin, and like some of these songs with Ilya too. But like, they're just like a dynamic duo when it comes to production and making songs, because like he's been around for decades. Like, he's made some of our highest top pop hits. Max Martin was out here doing stuff for Britney, I believe also Christina, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all that from like the 90s, 2000s. Like, he knows how to make a pop hit. And so when him and Ari get together in the studio, he's just like, ooh. So literally none of these have been a miss for me. All of these have been a hit. We are more than halfway through the album, and I can't say anything negative about it. Like, I've loved it so far. I've loved it so far. And the next song is Yes and, which we know and love, and I did a reaction to that, which you can watch up here. And I'm not gonna go into, I already talked about the lyrics and the vibe and all the other stuff, so we're just gonna bop to Yes and then move on to the next track after that. So track 9, Yes and. Those notes.
Why do Why?
Oh, I love that song. It's such a bop. It's such a vibe. Whew. Okay, well my battery's about to die, so let me go charge that real quick and we will be right back for track 10. Okay, we're back. If things look a little shifted, it's because we took a little interlude to charge the battery, but now we're going to continue into track 10, which is We Can't Be Friends, in parentheses, Wait for Your Love. We only got 4 tracks left in this album.
I didn't think you'd understand me. How could you ever even try? Just wanna let this story die. We can't be friends. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love. We sit in silence. I don't wanna argue, but I don't wanna fight. Wait for your love. We can't be friends. Birds and friends. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love.
Ending on a little orchestral outro. Okay. Interesting. We Can't Be Friends is definitely giving me, like, we started this relationship seeing each other as one thing and then feeling like there's love lost at the end and they're not seeing each other in the way, or like they changed because of each other and the people that they've turned into are no longer the people that they fell in love with. Could be taken either way. I think that's the first one out of the previous 9 out of 10 where I'm kind of like, we'll let her play on a full run through, but like as a first initial listen, she's not my favorite. I don't dislike We Can't Be Friends. I just wasn't as immediately enraptured like the way I was with all the previous songs. So we're gonna move on to track 11, which is I Wish I Hated You, which is that title. Ooh, when I saw when she was releasing like little snippets of her track list on social, on Instagram, and I saw I Wish I Hated You, I was like, ooh, that one, this one sounds like it might hurt a little bit. Especially because like Supernatural through The Boy Is Mine, definitely like Supernatural True Story, The Boy Is Mine definitely gives like the end of one relationship and the start of like fresh feelings for someone else. And then Yes and is kind of her like, and what about it song. And then We Can't Be Friends, this one kind of just like kind of like when you end a relationship and you're like, we're too close to the situation to like be friends with each other right now. Like we loved each other so much, but now we kind of like aren't in a place to be able to like be around each other. And so now I Wish I Hated You is kind of, I feel like a good progression on that mentality of like, there's so much love still for you that I have, but with the way things went down, it's like, I wish I hated you, but I don't. I still love you. But like, I wish I hated you so that this like breakup, this dissolution of our relationship could hurt less type of thing. So let's get into I Wish I Hated You, track 11. What is this Owl City sounds?
Your shoes still in boxes, I send them your way.
The staccato of it all.
No matter how guilty, I still feel same. Yeah. Wish you were worse to me. Yeah, I wish I hated you.
Yeah, see, that's definitely giving me, we grew apart. We started off with so much love and we turned into, like, grew into different people. And again, this is post Saturn returns. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I'm realizing that the things that I came into this relationship with is not where I currently am and what I want anymore. And it's probably a similar situation on your part. And both of us are now forcing it, and our relationship shouldn't be forced. And so it's kind of like neither of us did anything really wrong, but we know that staying together is not in our best interests anymore. So it's like after a breakup that like is more on we're just two different people now, and like what we both need and want out of a relationship is not what we are able to give and receive from each other anymore. So it's like, oh, now that we have to break up because that's what's best for us, I wish I hated you so that like it didn't hurt so much to still have this love for you. Which is kind of what I said before, but definitely seems to be validated with these lyrics.
Stands in a parallel plane. All close and kept so possibly. No matter how I want to, no matter how easy things could be if I wish you were worse to me.
Yeah, see that line right there.
Yeah, I wish I hated you.
Yeah, the I wish you were worse to me is kind of like, oh, I wish I could give like concrete reasons as to like why this doesn't work other than the fact that we're just no longer right for each other. Our timings did not line up. I feel like that was such a, you know, a vulnerable song about saying truths, but also keeping things kind of vague. It did both, whereas like it gave honesty, but it also gave, this is just a vague overarching feeling that like most people can relate to. It's very thematic and could relate to her as well as, I'm assuming, possibly the movie that the concept for this album is also based on. Yeah, so the next track, the penultimate track, one more after this, is Imperfect for You. These last four have sounded different from the beginning, or at least since track 10. Ooh, this guitar. I like how the imperfect is like a warped notes. Like the distorted notes. Imperfect.
We know that this was a happy disaster. Like you need me to imperfect.
It's like dreamy, but like also distorted.
Like that since I met you. I'm glad we crashed and burned. I know we'll be there for each other. Messy, completely stressed, but I'm not glad since I met you. Imperfect fire.
I will say the verses weren't as captivating to me as like the pre-chorus and the chorus is, but I do like the lyricism, the meaning of behind the song of my imperfections seemed to match up to your imperfections at the time. So yeah, I definitely liked the choruses, the pre-chorus, the chorus better than the verses, just sonically. But I think this is an important song on the track list for it to be here after We Can't Be Friends and I Wish I Hated You. It's definitely a tone shift after Yes and. So like after, once we get to track 10, there's like definitely a sonic tone shift in how the songs sound. But yeah, we'll get to the final track of the album, which is track 13, Ordinary Things, featuring Nona. I know she said she usually has voice recordings of Nona. We had Nona in Thank You Next with Bloodline at the beginning. Love Bloodline, that's one of my favorite songs. So I'm curious to see what Nona's about to tell us in Ordinary Things. So let's get into it. The last few songs have been slow, so let's see what Ordinary Things, if it's gonna pick up or anything.
We could go pop all the champagne.
Okay, a little bit.
California. We could spend every time, but I don't want
That run down.
what we do has never gonna be an ordinary thing. An ordinary thing, as long as I'm with you. You hit just like the first sip of wine after a long day. An ordinary thing.
The way she says the ordinary. Ordinary.
It's true, as long as I'm with you.
Ooh. I like that floating you. Yeah. Nona! Aww.
As I told her, never go to bed without kissing goodnight. If you can't and if you don't feel comfortable doing it, you're in the wrong place. Get out.
Oh. Nona. Okay. Ordinary Things picked it up, but like that outro with Nona really makes me feel for her, for Ari, because her saying at the end there, I'm assuming Nona's talking about Ari's grandpa, like grandfather, and being like, oh, when he would come off the train, it was like God Almighty, like it was like she was just always so happy to see him, and she's like, never go to bed without saying like a kiss goodnight or whatever, like don't go to bed angry type of thing. And if you're not comfortable doing that, then you're in the wrong place, get out. And it's like, for Ari to end Ordinary Things with that last line that Nona says of, if you're not comfortable doing that, you're in the wrong place, get out, is really, again, I know this is a concept album, but there are pieces of truth within this of her own personal feelings. For her intentionally to end on that line of what Nona says makes me like, my heart hurt for her, because that makes me feel like Ari had a moment where, you know, the first few tracks of this album are those like mentalities of like before the relationship ends, when you're realizing that things are going downhill and that like you're questioning whether this relationship is actually right for you. I mean, that's like literally the first line in the intro. And for that last line that Nona says of like, if you can't go to bed, like give a kiss goodnight, basically say I love you, or not go to bed angry. If you're uncomfortable doing that, like you're not in the right relationship, you're not in the right place, you need to get out. Makes me feel like at the end of that relationship, she was like, I'm not even comfortable going to bed with my own partner anymore. That like in the morning or tomorrow, we can still, even if we're annoyed or frustrated or angry at each other, we can work this out in the morning. And I still don't feel good inside about where we stand regardless. It's like, oh, I have to heed Nona's advice. This is no longer good for me. I need to listen to myself. These are the signs I need to get out. Like, unfortunately, they did divorce and she's had to move on with her life and just accept that. And as fans and people who aren't fans of hers, like, we need to accept that too, to be like, she's got to do what's best for her. Apparently, just by the lyrics, seems like her and her ex tried their best to try and work on their problems, and it just was not something that they could push through. And at the end of the day, they had to realize that they were no longer, you know, the right people for each other, and that they needed to part ways. And, you know, however that went down behind closed doors, we don't have the details on. We only get what she shares with us through her music. I'm glad that she's happier now. She's been fed musically, acting wise. She's got her REM beauty. Like, I'm happy for her. I hope things, you know, are on the up and up for her. Obviously, yes, there's the whole media tabloid messiness of like people having an opinion about her. But I hope that personally she's doing well, because that's all a real fan of hers really wants. But anyway, that is the end. That is the conclusion of this album of Eternal Sunshine. And I must say that I love the album. I will say tracks 10 through 12, We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love, I Wish I Hated You, and Imperfect for You. Like I said, it was a tonal shift. It definitely got into the sad girl hours for those three tracks. And so those, I think, I'm a person that will listen through an album straight through from track 1 till the end. So like, I'm not gonna skip them. Maybe depending on my mood, I may skip one or the other of those 3, but I feel like they're very important in the storyline and concept of the album and where they're placed in the track list. Like, it makes sense why it's there. Like, it's very important for the cohesive story of this album for those tracks to be there. I just think because I'm very much a person who likes the bop and vibe, that like I won't 100% every time I listen to this album straight through will always listen to those tracks. It'll depend on the day. But I will say, after first impressions, first listen, I really enjoyed this album. I felt like it was a very cohesive album. I love how vulnerable she was, but also was able, you can hear that she also put up some boundaries because after Sweetener, Thank You Next positions, girl was really telling us her business. And she's like, you know what? Y'all heard enough of my business. I need to keep some things to myself. So I feel like this was a very mature album. I feel like she gave enough insight into her own personal feelings and, you know, the heartbreak, the mental acrobatics of like ending a relationship and starting a fresh one, and, you know, thinking about your ex-partner and like that, how that relationship is going to progress or not progress in the future post, you know, breakup and all that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. I'm going to listen to it straight through to really get that full run through vibe, how it's supposed to be heard. But let me know what you guys thought of Eternal Sunshine. Is this what you were hoping for with a return from Ariana? And yeah, what were your favorite tracks? I would say my top 3 right now are Bye, Eternal Sunshine. Ooh, Yes and has to be up there. I did really enjoy The Boy's Mind though, and True Story. So maybe those are my top 5. But let me know down below what your top 3 or top 5 are for this album from Eternal Sunshine from Ari. And yeah, if you enjoyed my reaction, please give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you want to be notified when I next upload. Also hit that bell. And yeah, that's all for me, guys. I will see you in another video. Bye.